Oh hey, look, another title card. Welcome back to Cyberpunk 2020. Let's get rid of that. Today we'll be going over classes. What do I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is this. Inside this rulebook you will find, after turning the pages a couple of times, classes, rocker boys, and some other stuff. But today we'll be mainly focusing on the solo. The solo is a hired assassin, a bodyguard, a killer, a soldier. They usually are very teched up and have the best guns. Most of the time. You see, the solo usually won't have the highest... well, it usually has very balanced stats, but mainly you put them into cool, bod, and a couple of other things to be able to carry larger loads than most people, be able to shoot certain guns that most people couldn't, and usually they go full cyborg by the end of the game. But I'd like to talk to you about our group's silos. I'd like to talk to you about our group's silos. No, I'd like to talk to you about our group's solos. So, first thing I'll be showing you today is a character sheet, and it is Din Do None. This is a character made by one of our group named James. He's put 10 into Ref, 9 into Intelligence, 4 into Technology, 7 into his Cool, 8 into his Body, 6 into his Movement Allowance, 10 into the Luck, and 10 into the Attractiveness. And he has 6 Empathy. But the thing is, that's very strange about the sheet is, if I come down here, he has a clear cybernetic sheet, as you can see. Nothing at all. Everyone else has at least one implant. Nothing. And so, I've told James a million times that he's going to die as soon as possible because he has... His character's a phobia of technology or something? I've forgotten what it was now, but it was quite funny. So, as you can see, he has a lot of gear, a lot of weapons. But I've given him, as you can see down here, 31 years of age. I shouldn't have given him that, but we don't worry about that. Thing is, he's our shooter. He's the guy who snipes everything, guns everything down, and has the big sawed-off machine gun. So if we skip on to our second solo, and he is Blade. This is Matthew's character. He joined our group a little bit later, and he has a few implants, chip techs, got some arms, cyber eye with a bit of bits and pieces. We'll talk about cybernetics probably a few episodes down the line. We'll talk about cybernetics and how they work. But for now, cybernetics are basically just enhancements. Nothing stupid like superpower wise, but you know, it's big. He is, I think... Oh god, I can't read his years. I think he's 21, I think, at the most. Yeah, I think he is... Yeah, he's 21 years old. His main weapons, though, are a katana and shurikens. The thing is, in this game, and what I've said to most people, is you need to probably have at least one gun. Even if it's just a really cheap, inexpensive polymer one-shot, you still need a gun. Why? Well, people like to shoot at you. And if you've got a katana, you cannot shoot back, and shurikens just don't count. You do a 1d6 and a 1d3, damage. Oh god. Yeah, I need to get this guy a gun as soon as possible. The thing is, he's put nothing into the gun stat. So, what can I tell you about solos? Usually corporate assassins. Ninjas, if you would. For Blade, mainly. But if we look at Din, who's basically your average, basically so much bod that you can't even get over him. It's just, there is large chunk of T-bone steak in front of you. That is kind of the character you would expect, and in some ways, Din is like that. But he is also a womanizer, which makes the character annoying to play with. Because every time I introduce a woman into the game, I have to tell James that it's off limits. Well, I don't. I'd have to do that with another friend of mine. But it's still like, no, it's important to the plot. Don't touch it. It's quite funny. But the solos are very fast, very quick. They have their special ability is it adds to your initiative and actually adds to your what do we call it? It adds to the speed and stuff. Your let's have a look. Sod it. It's basically your alertness. It's awareness checks you get boosted by as well. So if you see something, if something's there in the solo season, there's no one else does. Solo does. Solo always sees it. Solo always goes first. Even if you rolls a 1, Solo goes first. Yeah, it's a very quick character, and basically it's the fighter of all the characters. Kind of a bit bland, but you can make it very fun. And they probably have the widest range of ability to buy things, and all their stuff is guns. It's very much gun heavy, which is nice for some people and can actually help. Though in some groups you may want to think of toning down the ability if you want people to go first otherwise. But, we usually just go solos first and then we go right or left from there. In my group, personally. So, if you want to become a solo, you must be quick, you must be fast, and you must be ready to kill everything because that's what solos do. So, hopefully, I've helped you decide if you wanted to become a solo or not without having the book. I will read out later on kind of more what the book says about solos and actually how to build them in So You Want to Be a Solo, based off of So You Want to Be a Blank, done by one of the D&D channels I like. Anyway, I will do that later, but this is kind of just more an overview of what the character does. So, I hope you've all had a nice time, and I'll see you in a little bit. Ta-ra.